Let the color of Holi spread the message of peace and happiness. Here, I, Sudhir Ghagre, organizer of Azure Developer Community Amravati region, wishing you and your family a happy Holi. Today with me, I have an expert speaker, Vishwas Narayan, who is an Azure lead of Bangalore region. It's my privilege, honor to have him with us. So, talking about Vishwas, he is a jack of all trade and master in all. Apart from being Azure dev lead, he's also the founder of Computer Architecture Club. He was a student volunteer, moderator, assistant organizer in TensorFlow user group Bangalore region. He is a part-time YouTuber. He was a Google crowdsource lead. He's a co-organizer of PyData Guana and organizer of PyData Bioinformatics Bangalore chapter. Now, today we will be discussing about DevOps and ML. So, over to you, Vishwas. Excited to hear you.
Yeah, bro. Thank you so much. I'm not the jack of all trades, jack of all and things like that. It's all about like how can I approach a problem statement in a way that it makes sense in terms of a production system. Like today, we are supposed to think at the scale, right? Security at scale, deployment at the scale, governance at the scale, policy at the scale. It's all that. Like how can I make my life much more easier? I think probably the Toyota mindset, what I bring up with the learnings of all the Toyota production system and all the things like that. Like that gives me that energy to just learn anything and everything. It's all about like evolving from I say my one of my favorite person in this world of operations is Cheryl Jones, because she went from a normal factory inline worker to being the best in the best on the Toyota factory, right?
Hmm.
She witnessed the ways in which Toyota was working. I think
Hmm.
to any of the Scrum folks or the Agile folks here, like, the Scrum Master guys, you should be knowing that mechanism called as Anton card. Like, you should just pull the card, there's a production system that just works absolutely fine there. Like, there's an error, you pull the card, the project managers or anybody comes in, they make all the error goes out. That's what it is all about, right? Morning I wrote a post saying that in LinkedIn, like you guys can follow me on LinkedIn as well. So it
Yeah,
was
he's
all
following
about
you.
like, yeah, like it's so I just told one thing, I'm not the master of all, a jack of all and things like that. It's just me just trying to build myself, right? Like somebody asked me, why did you go to IITs or NIT? My question is very simple. I'm just getting trained by the best. So ML is also in that way. ML is something which gets evolved every single time. By the time we are talking, there is a new paper in arXiv or an open review which would have disrupted the industry. Like by the end of this talk, probably DevOps might be removed from the ML, but it will never happen because you need to come with the Toyota mindset to be that sustainable engineer here, right? So it's all about that. So what I do is I come with the Toyota mindset and I bring the best of me on the table, and that becomes the stage where I just pioneer my ways into what I really want to
Hmm.
learn over a course of
Hmm.
time. So
Hmm.
understand the fact that okay, ML is not that complex, ML is not this or that. It's just software and API jugad. So let's just
Yeah.
get it started because we need to go a little bit of an portal. We need to start learning a lot about the production system, what is it all about today, and things like that. So I think let me just start with what is it all about when you're thinking about at the scale production, right? So let me just go to my draw.io and let me just do that. I think many people are messaging me. That's okay. So I'm just going to create a new diagram. Authorize. Yes, I authorized it well back then. But it will just ask me to authorize something. Yeah. I'll just say, okay, lot of things. Install .io, install. All right. So that's also fine. So let's do it. 100 days, right? Let's do 100. This is 100 days of computer vision journey. So let me just choose the branch called as master, and I would say, okay, let's just go ahead. So It's very simple. What we just can do is we can just divide it into different parts. So there is a data, and that's where the ingestion happens, right? This is where the ingestion happens. That's where the actual science lies behind your entire production system. Like, hey, you have different sources of data, different types of data coming in. What do you want to do with it? So simple as that. We as engineers, we get so conscious about it, then we really want to analyze it, the data. All right, so now you just analyze the data, but now it happens with a lot of math and everything, right? Once you know the quality and the quantity of the data, it's all about the math and how you just do it. So I think this is where the Spark comes into the picture, right? Spark has its own way of working. I don't know why, but today clusters are getting created very badly. Let me just try with a new location, or else we can try out with anything. This is where Spark comes out. When I just go on and create a instance, you can see that there is a spot instance coming up, right? It's all about like how much of compute is needed as well, like how can I optimize the cost as well. So it's all that. At the end of the day, it's always that kind of an analysis that you just keep doing. Okay, now you just analyze the data and you just saw that entire infrastructure. Now it's okay, fine, we have analyzed it, let's just visualize it, because men in suit don't understand your math at the end of the day. So keep that in mind. So now we just wanted to visualize it, right? So this is where your EDA comes into the picture, exploratory data analysis. So if I can just do it. All right. So this is tough here. So let's just do it in this way. So, all right. So duplicate, set, font, bring forward, send backwards. So send backwards. So this is where you get the EDA. So it's called as an exploratory data analysis. So what you just did for analyzing and visualizing data, it's where your exploratory data analysis comes into the picture. So now this is one engineering which is called as data engineering. So it's data engineering. At the end of the day, it is just going to define the purpose of using. Why do you need Spark? Why do you need this? Why do you need that? This is where all these kind of infrastructure and the talk goes behind. Then now, okay, fine. Now what? Now build the models. And now the next step is always to like mint money. So that's it, right? It's a constant thing, right? Build models, and now of course deploy is always there. So deploy is always the next big thing. So let's just take an same thing. So deploy models, right? This is what we wanted, right? This is what the coolest part of it. So if you just keep adding arrows to it, it just gets added. Let's add it. Let's add an arrow here. Let's add an arrow here. We add an arrow here, and we can remove this one. And now it's always that, it's always this process that comes into the picture. Now, hey, we saw a good amount of money coming in, but we didn't see money just giving us that right insights, right? So it's always that, it's always that need that you have when you are just having good amount of money and things like that. So make sure that you do good amount of money, because everybody wants that. So we saw that, okay, this amount of process can be automated, this amount of process can be needed, but every company needs a one-man show. It's not an actor here. Let's just do a one-man show here. All right. So I think the actor went in, but like let's just do a text. It's like one man has to decide what, right? So this is where this entire dilemma comes in. So it's an actor, an engineer, or some guy who is there here for you, engineer, and then all right. So why is this getting added? So irritating, man. So irritating. So let it be an actor. So let it be those guys who just don't have the reason for you to be here or something. So let it be that one man has to decide what, right? So now that too becomes very complex over a course of time. So what we do is we had DevOps do this process. So DevOps gets the magic of it. So if you see what is DevOps, it's development and operations combined together. That makes an entire decision process. And I think, don't worry, whatever I'm explaining here will be in this slide as well. So introduction to the DevOps world, a lot of things. I think next move that I'll be doing is basically to give you that insight about DevOps itself. So machine learning and DevOps. So I think next week, probably not next week, next time when we have an thing about doing all these things, we'll just jump directly into the Azure DevOps and a lot of things. So we can talk about cognitive services as well, but lately you have to realize what is it all about, right? So let's just go step by step. All right. So I think just go through this, you will understand what is DevOps actually. So the slides are here. I think, wait, I can share you one resource which will give you an entire knowledge about like what is it all about, the other reports that I had collected, the other resources that I had always went through. Wait, it's this, some slides and resources. I think you guys can go here. I think DevOps world is here. DevOps as a purpose, DevOps world of DevOps. The same slide will be here. Just go ahead. You will be able to just do that. So click on those links. You will be redirected to any of it. So I think I'll just share the resources here. So please do go through that. Hi, Zulfikar. Hi. So yeah, that's what it is, right? So now we just had it the DevOps element, and now what we want is to just automate all these things. So that's where automation and its software has its own charm here. So just keep that in mind. You will be going through a lot of things. You will have to decide what is happening here. So now let's just go ahead and see what happened in this entire pull request and all the different processes that we are talking here. So right now, this was the DevOps bot that decided, hey, there was a white source bold that was added, and this was the value that I got. And see the code. Train.py, it's on a simple Boston data set I've taken, and I've done two different plots here, and I've just got those plots there as well. So plt.savefig, plt.savefig, and that gave me that image, right? You can go to that white source bold, and if you can look at all the pull requests that has happened, the GitHub actions, everything that has happened here, you will get to know, okay, this is what is happening in those two plots. Okay, so now I just did the data. What I made sure was I just make sure that there was a process that was running, and I visualized it. So now RMS values of different values were being analyzed, and now it was already giving me a prediction and a true price of it. So this is what I'm talking about, right? When you think of an entire infrastructure which can be automated with respect to frameworks or something, and there are some DevOps tools which are coming up, and what you can do is you can just use it and start working towards it, and that's the perfect thing. So very simple. I think CML has been changed. This is basically a continuous ML framework that I had used. There is a company called as dvc.org. If you just go here, it's a tool where you do a lot of versioning and things like that. So you can download it, install it, just do all the cut, copy, paste things, the pick and place things. You will be able to go through all these different things, right? And let me just explain you the code. Very simple, very easy. So again, it's still GitHub actions, what I'm doing right now, but it's going to be phenomenal if you just can get these things right. What happened here? Simple as that. I just did an Ausprice, Ubuntu latest on push to any branches. Just run all of it. So I'm not just saying, okay, run it when it gets pushed onto your main branch or this branch or that branch. On push, any push onto this entire repository, just start running it. So it's always that. So CML run has happened. So I've already received the GitHub token. Yes, it will always be a default one, which will always be generated. You'll have all the privileges. And now I did all the upgrades, just like your Linux command, Python train.py. I just did the same old command, Python train.py. The train.py file has been run. Echo matrix is added. I'm saying it in the actions here. I'm not saying it in the any of the processes that I'm talking here. So residential remote. So let's just do it. So I'll just show you how it is. After the CML run, log was not. Oh, okay, okay. Retention setting. Oh, right. So I think I can run a new one. That's not a problem. So I can go back here. I can go here. Rerun this. So I can rerun this entire thing. So I have run this. It will take some time. So it has to be run now. View workflow, create status badge. All right, status badge has been created. But let's do one thing. Let's rerun this. Download log archives. That's also there. Okay, let's just view the raw logs here. But it's not available for sure. So let's just do one thing. Let's just go push something here. What is that? New branch, right? Let's just go and put something here. So load Boston data. Let me just remove one of this, and this will be a new commit. And see the magic. Actions has been triggered. The run has now tried to happen. So now there is an requested label of Ubuntu latest has been added right now. So automatically it will start initializing the container. So it just runs it and just see the magic of it. You know, everything is getting pulled. What happens in your Docker container happens the same way here as well. So if you just wait for a while, just wait for all the actions to go ahead and run forward, everything will be happening. So simple, simple, simple. Keep this in mind. All right. So lately, if you have realized one thing, like, hey, we can't have a huge demand for all these things, right? So we can just use tools like this and we can start working. And also, if you want to run GitHub actions locally, you can do this Nectos act, and you can really run your GitHub actions locally. Like, this is how it is. So installation of it, act, docker container, brew install act, sudo apt-get install act, choco install act. You can do it. So you can see the tree.git. You can just see the branches. Start working on it. Yes, everything will work fine for you. So this is how it is, man. You can run your uh, system task locally. Whatever is happening here is coming out here. So just look at the magic. What should have had happened on my system is happening here. I think there were a lot of logs that were being generated and things like that. So this is how it is. I think probably this will this is completed actually. So yeah, Boston pricing, everything was taken care. All the different matrices based on the type of the program that I had written, it just ran perfectly, right? So this is how it is, folks. I think new branch has already taken a lot of hit. Let's just do something on this branch also, main branch. Let me just delete some, add some. You can do it in other way. There's .com here. Just do one thing. .dev. Just change it to .dev. You will have a git pod here. So just do the dev and see the magic. I just click enter. I'll be entering git pod. It's simple and easy. I think, is my voice audible for you folks? I just wanted to know that. That's it.
Yeah, Vishwas, you are completely audible, Vishwas.
Yep. Thank you so much. Let's do one thing. See, Vishwas made some changes. I'm just going to have a new branch. I'm going to say new commit, and it's a committed one. And it's already running right now. So you need not have to do git push and all. It's already there, done. I think this is now, right? I think there is a new action which is running, and the same old commit messages, the same like that, blah blah blah. I think this is going to take very less time. But yeah, the retention of all these model locks and all, it's very less. So you need not have to do much here. So what I did was a simple thing. I'll explain you in the YAML code here. So as always, .github slash workflows will be the image of it. So if you can go here, the same old step, right? On run runs on Ubuntu latest. The action is always a CML run. The GitHub tokens are already taken care. The pip upgrades, installs happened, the same old thing. But the magic of this is that I had a chance to even write everything from matrices that I just collected from the same old thing in the program to report.md, and I'm able to get it on to my runs here. So let's just go here and see what's the status of the run here. So it's not yet come up. So once it comes up, we can just go ahead, but we can see what happened in the new branch. This commit, what happened. So yeah, all the runs went well, all the all the graphs went proper. So the same old thing, right? As scikit learn. So you need not have to do much here. But make sure that you just mention all the versions that you need, because these are going to be constant, but sklearn might change over a course of time. So keep this constant. That's it. So I think we can do other branches as well. I think the patch one might have it work proper. How was the patch one? So the same old code which was there in main branch, I just added it to the patch one. I think yeah, it just ran perfectly. So this is how it is, folks. This is how you write the entire thing. But if you are so much of a script head and things like that, just clone this repository and just start working. That's going to be better because hey, undergrad second year want to start Azure. Can you suggest me how to start learning? So very simple, Akash. You just need not have to do much of a work here. Just go ahead, have a free account from your what do you call the Azure portal. So free account Azure, and there is GitHub student pack, a lot of things. So just go to Papa, ask him, can I borrow your credit card? I want
Just
all
sorry
these
to interrupt
things.
you, Vishwas.
Yeah,
Vishwas? Yeah.
yeah, I'm here.
Your voice is, yeah, your
My
voice
voice
is
is
breaking,
there.
Vishwas.
Okay. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
your,
Can you hear me
wait a minute.
now?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
fine
perfect,
now.
bro. Perfect,
Go ahead.
perfect. I think
Sorry,
probably
go
there
ahead.
was an issue with my cord, I think so. Yeah, I can understand that. So okay, just go to your dad and ask him like, hey, Papa, I want to learn Azure. Just go to the free account, Azure, and there are different options for it as well. So you can get it from your credit card, and also there is student credit as well. You can use that, and you get amazing web app, function apps, and all these for free. But GitHub Student Packs gives you a lot. So Student Pack, Developer Pack, you can start using it. Like a lot of other things are also available, right? Just go start using it. You'll be good to go any places. So I think that's how you just start learning. Just make an account. Sometimes I say, you want to learn cloud, but you don't have an account. How will you learn? So it's not by seeing videos. It's all about like learning. That's how we do it. Go hands on, folks. All right. So whatever you saw there was just an automation of kind of in commands like this. So data visualization, you can do it in this way, or else you can do it in this way. Like EDA of the data is always done like this, different kinds of plot, different ways to do it. It's always here. And I think I'll share you guys this notebook as well. In the comment section of this video, I'll be commenting down all the resources that is required from your side. Very simple. Whatever you did, you can also do it with some AutoML frameworks like this. So just go ahead, start learning this. It's the same old linkage of the commands and the things like that. So just go ahead, start learning about it. You'll feel so glad that okay, I'm born in this era and I'm just getting all the low code and the no code options here. So I think I'll explain one framework here called as Flammel. You can understand everything apart from that. Like all the notebooks still have the same old semantics, but I just gave that example for you folks. Just go ahead and have it. So simple as that. We just installed the Flammel and cat boost was required, so I just installed it. So just look at the fact that I'm just using the public data set which is already loaded in Iris. Sorry, the sklearn module. So you need not have to reinvent the wheel, right? There is already clean, precise data that is already available for you. So it's basically a clean data. It's already available for you folks. You just go ahead, just start working on it. So that clean data is already available for you. So I just load the data, load iris, that's the function. So data and the target, that's how you just define the x and y variables. Simple as that. Take this x test and x train as the data set, y train and y test as an annotation. So simple as that. You need not have to do much here. So all the things that I'm saying here, this is the data set, data, and this is the annotation. So there is a lot of other things that you can learn from, right? These are some simple steps that are going to give you much more phenomenal results. Like I'm not even joking. Sometimes we even struggle to get till here with some data set. Even though you get the boilerplate code, you get this, you get that, it's very complex to some extent. So x train, x test is going to be your data, y train and y test is going to be your annotation. Keep this in mind. And I still use the same old built-in command from sklearn, that is your train test split. Earlier, if you see the code, it was cross validation, from sklearn import cross validation, but now it's sklearn import sklearn.model selection. Instead of writing model selection here, back then we used to write something called as cross validation. So cross validation. So I think a similar command like this, probably cross validation was this, but it differs, right? But just say just a little bit of change that you just did, everything was sorted for you. So this is how it is. So sometimes we just struggle to get till here also with some data sets, but just do that. This is always going to be good thing. So of course we are just now getting all the different matrices, how to get the pipelines and all these things, right? So sklearn imputers are always there. Imputers are nothing but a function, just helps you to add in the missing data based on some formulas which are there in the sklearn. So imputers are already done. So the pipeline analysis is just like the flow of the data in the algorithm. It's just going to give you in this form factor. Oh wait, yeah, it's in this form factor. So this is where the pipelines comes into the picture. So the pipelines, what do you hear in the DevOps world? The same old thing, right? How the data flows in and out. There's an amazing talk. Uh, data. Wait. Data in microservices. I think it's from Red Hat or something. Yes. Red Hat. Red Hat. Yeah. This is the talk. Just go
Hey
ahead,
everyone, I'm
start
Sujit.
learning. Like this is the best part about it. Like you get a chance to learn everything and anything here. So just go ahead. Like I think this talk and also ThoughtWorks. Microservices. I think they are killing it. I think Martin Fowler is good. John Allspaus talk was there, but John Allspaus was on a different thing. But Martin Fowler, they start learning talks like these are the golden resources that are really available for you. Just go ahead and just go through it. Like this company, the ThoughtWorks, what I'm saying here, has pioneered a new technology called as data mesh. Like they have something called as data mesh, and there is a scientist called as not a scientist, but she's an engineer scientist. I don't know. Her name is Shamak Dagani. All her talks are pretty amazing. I'm also trying to do one complete data mesh demo in Reactor Bangalore. So come back. We'll go ahead. All right, folks. So this is how it is, right? So you import all those things, your life is sorted, the functions there will do all the jobs. So standard scalar was always taken for pre-processing. So of course this is an auto ML framework. It's now just going to take the auto ML thing. I think I do have something called a cognitive service. I can wait. Rahul sir, is it in India? Wait. I think I shared him some. Sorry, folks. Oh God, wait. Cognitive services. Azure ML. Why didn't I do this? Cognitive services. I think I can share you that, so don't worry. Web.app, right? It's hosted on Firebase, so I can do that. So, man, it's so bad. Wait. Yep, I found it. Finally, I found it. So, yeah. Wait, I've not yet shared my screen. Sudhir, I've not yet shared my screen. I think now I shared my screen. So, you guys can go here and see my website on cognitive services. This is also a low code platform, right? It's from Azure. You can look at all the different notebooks. I
It's
think I
not
think
out
some are
yet. Your screen
yeah,
is
I
not
think
out yet.
yeah. Oh right. So Anurag Srivastava is here. So hi Anurag. So I think Viz has to come up. I have to call him. So don't worry about that. We'll just go ahead step by step. Azure DevOps is huge, people. So just see my others talks as well. So you guys can just come in. So yeah, I think he's now
So,
coming. Share my screen.
yeah, just a second.
Yep, it's already up. So this is my website. So you guys can go there and check out this entire thing. So wait. So it's a website where I wrote for the cognitive services. You guys can go learn that. Like this is also a low code thing, right? Getting started, installation, general example. Like you can see that simple, complex things that used to take a lot of time for us to write on a sheet of a paper or something is now being made much more easier here today, right? Like the text analytics has been easy. Like you need not have to do much of a work here. Like everything has been taken care of. So you can click on the notebook, you'll get all the notebooks, the outputs will be there. Like the one which takes a lot of time, which is already being done seamlessly right now here. So you can see that, right? It's just the magic of this AutoML framework. It's just going to be there. So set config, display diagrams. Yes, we have to do that. And imputers, simple imputers, standardizers. I'm just defining this. And variables so that AutoML becomes much more easier for me. So we have all these, right? So we just AutoML imputed all these. So worked fine. So now we got a pipeline. Guess what? You're just putting in the data. You're now saying estimate a list. I feel that so in XGBoost, Cache Boost, and LGM Boost, and all these are boosting algorithms and things like that. LGPM and all these things. So just try on all these things. I want to now fit the pipeline. So that is what you do, right? TF dot TensorFlow dot Keras
Again,
dot
we are
model
lost
dot
you,
fit.
Vishwas.
Yeah.
Check your cord. Your audio
Am I
is still
audible
breaking.
now?
Check your cord.
I am actually without the cord only. Lakshit, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible. You are
Yeah, I think network issue,
audible.
dude. I'm audible, right? Yeah, I'm audible. So I think network issue, bro.
Okay, go on, go on, go on.
Yeah, sure, folks. That's how it did, and just see the magic. In 7.5 seconds, there was an best error value which was also taken, and let me just show you one of the things. So the best estimator was there. The error value was also taken care about, and now if you just want to just get to know what was the training duration, what was the different levels that you could have actually achieved that optimization, right? It's already there for you. So this is how you do it. So over a course of time, whatever it is, just go ahead, just use this for a little while. You will understand what is it all about when you're just getting it. And of course, if you just think of automl.model, it will just come in like this. But here you can understand that there is an XGBoost algorithm which is from the sklearn estimator that has been used. And this is how you just take the model, deploy it. The true value, the predicted values are still the same. So this is how you just automate the things up, right? I just wrote some little bits and pieces of code. I just got to know what all algorithm works good, what all algorithm doesn't work good for me, the accuracy of that validation, the training duration that it took, a lot of things. So just I think I can share you this notebook. Now if I don't want to forget that, right? So tiny.cc. Let's just go ahead. ML notebook link. All right. So there you have it, folks. The link for that. So go ahead and I'm going to paste it because in comment section sometimes it gets cut. So that's why I'm not doing that. So all right. So we had all different kinds of matrices, all different kinds of things learned. So let's just go to our colloquial way of doing it. That's on Azure portal. I think my compute cluster should be up and running now. I don't know why compute clusters are taking a lot of time to be up today, but if it's not, we can just go ahead with other demos as well. So that's not a problem. So this is one of the demos where I just did with respect to this uh, Pima India dataset that I have. I think I can, it's there in my CSV datasets as well. So CSV datasets, you guys can go to this repository. This is the link for this repository, and you will have an entire repository of CSV data that are there. Tweets are there, train tweets, lot of things. So you guys can go and start using it. Let's just go ahead and to the portal, and we'll go. So, the same old explanation that you were seeing there for an AutoML platform, it still came out here. And it says that, hey, this model works good. And there is explanation IDs. Ka matlab, there are different runs that went through. And now you have it. And you can go for the previous versions of it. And you will get to know the different matrices that can be analyzed. So if you can go for the previous versions of it, just look at the distribution of it. There are different things, right? So you can see that, okay, so for my model right now, and there was different glucoses and the insulin levels, BMI, what were the Y predictions, X predictions, lot of things were taken care. So take care of it. The different matrices which came in with respect to your what do you call the training process and the testing process also was being considered. We'll go through that, how to add it and remove it, and the data transformation, the test results based on the separated out test data here. They were given here, and the best matrices was already being collected. You can see that, okay, in that test matrices, the explained variance is here, the mean absolute error, a lot of things, right? This is basically a regression one. So that's where all these things are coming up. So, all right, different locks also you could have got it, right? The same thing, whatever you got on the notebook, the same thing that you're seeing right now here, but with a different form factor. You can view this outside as well. So you can go ahead and see, okay, this is what is happening. So, fun fact, you can download this and you will get an entire model repository. You can deploy it on an Heroku application or anything. That will really work fine for us. Also, you can do web services based deployment. It's very simple. Just go ahead and type in Vishwasnarayan 1 2 3 4 something. You can deploy it in two form factor, once in Kubernetes, once in container instance. Just look at the magic that compute name is required here, but for container instance, compute is not required because it dockerizes the entire model that has been built here and it just pushes it. So this is how you will see, right? This is how your endpoints will be created. So this is where DevOps comes into the picture. So this experiment, what you're seeing here, is the magical moment that just happens on your entire ML infrastructure that you're trying to build. Like this, as all the repository of your entire build pipelines and the cycles that is going on. So you can see that I didn't build any, but in here I built some pipelines here in order to do some inferences on batch and everything. So of course we have an AutoML model, which is for the new pedigree model, which has already come up. And now the endpoint will be available like this. So there'll be a state like unhealthy, transitioning, and healthy. If it's unhealthy, the deployment has not yet happened. If it's healthy, like that's what it's saying, right? No URL generated. So this is what is happening. And now if it says there is a state called as a transition, it will come. The transition state will also be there. So that will also be happening. And if there is something called as unhealthy, here deployment has already happened. And you can click on any of the links. You will be redirected to some of the deployments that are ready to happen. And you can go ahead and test your models here as well. So let's say age is 50, job is some value, like this was some thing that we just did, but this was actually a different data, but this was actually a different data here. So this is an HR data set, this is an diabetic data set here. So let's say yes, education, yes, or something like, let's say, okay, this is what we wanted to see, number of days, 12 month, example value, July or something. Like let's just do that. Like if you just put a test here, no, the result says can he get the loan or not. So that was the data set here. So it says no now, and I think what you can do is you can consume it here. So we can go ahead and look at a list index out of range, but you can consume it through any of the form factors. So you can go ahead, you can start building out all these different things. Like you can just push this code onto the this one, what do you call the Blazor app, or the what do you call this one, the .NET application. You will be good to go anywhere, and this can be deployed on a Django, things like that. Just make sure that you apply that. So I think this is in transitioning state at least by now, because the model was built a long back, right? The model was built very long back. So yes, the deployment logs also here. So different deployments took place, right? So there you have it. The deployment logs are here for you folks. I think this should be in a transitioning state at any given point of time. and I think sometimes it will be coming up, sometimes it will be not. So this is how you deploy it also. So unhealthy, now it's still unhealthy. So let's just go ahead and let's start working on other stuff as well. So that's how you see the URLs. That's how you see the deployments as well. So now you just saw that. Now what? There is something called as a designer here, right? Let me just show you what is a designer all about. So this is also an end-to-end DevOps application that we just tried to build. So it's a training inference. So back today morning, I just kept this for training. It's a very simple model, very neat and a clean and a crisp one. So boosted decision tree regression, and there was a different algorithm that was taken place. Let's see the magic. We just wanted to clean the data, split the data into train, test, and deploy. And now we have boosted algorithms. Now we are training the models. Now we are training the models with different matrices and everything being added. And now we are evaluating the model. So all of these is just pick and place. You can delete it also. Just see that you can copy this and you can paste it here any place. You can go here and paste it, and you can still delete it, right? You don't have to do much here. So you can still go ahead and start working towards any of these matrices that has already been given. So this is how it is. So I can delete it now and it just goes away. And fun fact, you can actually edit it as well. So preview the data, which is already the score data sets are always here, right? So Toyota, Honda, Phuket, all these things. So now if I just go and check it here, preview the logs, trained model, you can download it. And that's what it is. So if you just push publish, it just goes and publishes to one more framework. Submitting it just goes here, or else you just can just go here and just push onto it. You can publish a model, create a new one. There will be a new name for it, new one to something, and there will be a new pipeline which will be created. So this is a published pipeline which will be coming in. So if I had run it back then, it would have said deployment with the batch, and I'll show you how the batch ones look like. So this is the batched model, and very simple, very easy kind of a deployment that you can see here is very simple here. Like I'll just show you how it is. So there is a raw data which is coming in. Set the columns in the data. There is a TD of the regression that happens if the data was given here. So let me just say, if I just go ahead and push this data, it is not going to take it. But now I just want to apply some transformation. The regression has to happen if it's always there for us. Then the scoring model will obviously score the models and it will give you out. So you can view the logs, but access data, it's not available for me right now. But we could have had used it back if we had not deleted the compute cluster. So this didn't work. Let's see whether this works properly. This is a training. This is the one which has worked for us pretty well. I think the execution model. So if I just view the logs, say okay, so you can download it, put it in your folder so that you have all the builds, everything, validated results, and everything will be there here for you, right? So container was always the type of a deployment that we did. So let's just view the logs, preview the data. So let's just preview the data of it. So it says that the mean absolute error of this deployment is 611.32. All the things that is related to your entire data set is now being taken care. So this is how it is. I didn't do much of a coding here, but everything was taken care here right now. So of course you can go ahead, build your own models through notebooks as well. So we'll go ahead and we'll start running this. So this is actually an example notebook from Microsoft. So keep this in mind. Next week we'll be building our own notebooks. We'll be going through a lot of things, right? So These are some of the steps that you can put. Of course, you have ample amount of models that you can visualize and deploy with a real-time endpoint. So let's say endpoint name Vishwas. All right, so now we have it. So key, Tonai, we can go tokens, endpoint tags or something. You can just go ahead, pull this model, scoring timeouts. Oh, environments has to be taken care. So we choose this, choose this. So let's do this as an expand, collapse. Oh, a lot of things, man. So this is how you do it. So we can go ahead, we can just start doing it, but let's not touch that because it's just going to take a lot of time. So okay, so we had an deployment. So you can click on the Swagger. Swagger will give you a lot of things. So yes, so let's just go ahead and build some notebooks here. What happened to the notebook? Okay, authentication was not asked. That's strange, by the way. Okay, I had put the authentication already, so the notebook was already there. So of course, it's in cloud build, so there was no child run, so everything was taken care seamlessly. And there you have it. It's an AutoML run, which is just working absolutely fine for me right now. But I can go ahead, I can start running this notebooks as well. So this gives me an ample amount of models. So what I can do is run all. Edit in the VS Code. Yes, I understand. I can go to my VS Code and I can start editing it. Whoa. Open. Install. All right, remote containers are installing. Oh, this is my sister's laptop, by the way. I do continue here. I think that would be great for me. I can just go ahead and start running as many notebooks as I want. As I told, AutoML is so fast. Do I have it completed by now? Also, it will have not yet completed by now. So status is running. Interrupt kernel. Keyboard interrupted. So we can go ahead and we can find some matrices which were there, but I don't think none of them will run. But we can look at this run which is happening here. So let's just see what is happening here. All right. So wait, folks. Simple as that. Keep this in your mind. It's just API to that. I'm not doing anything. So I'm just calling the Azure ML environment on the notebook here. But tomorrow we can go ahead in the Azure VS Code as well. All right. So compute failed. GPU cluster provisioning failed. All right. So there was no GPU cluster. That's fine. That's perfect. But if I had this, I would have shown you, but we can go ahead with this notebook as well. So this is my blog on Azure ML. So you guys can go check this blog. It will give you an end-to-end value about all the things that you need to learn, right? So everything will be taken care of here. So don't worry about that. So ML Flow notebook didn't work. It just got terminated. It's not being done at any given point of time. So what we can do is we can go ahead and just learn about the notebook here. So very simple. You can go ahead, download this notebook in from this website. So this website is here for you. You can do anything with it. And of course, pip install Databricks CLI was always to be installed. Diabetes dataset is what I'm taking care here. And now diabetes speedy, diabetes head, everything just works on. And now if I start an experiment after setting an experiment, so this is the code for it, mlflow.set experiments, and you can just set that and you are sorted for it. And now it just gets all the logs and data and everything related to it. And now what you can have is a set of plots like this, which can be saved as an artifact and which will run seamlessly on your computer. like this is actually accessed in an Azure cluster which has all the computers which is there for computing it, and now it has done all the little work for you. And to be very frank, the training team doesn't take this much, right? Training team time like takes very less time here, so you can do as much as you want, as much as coding as you want, and you can just get the insights like this. So this is how it is. So I think this is the end of it, folks. I don't want to just take too much of your time and just give you a lot of other things. Just giving you a little bit of an insight about what is it all about when you're talking about the DevOps and the other things. But later on, we can go ahead and we can grab as much as knowledge as we want with respect to your Azure DevOps and ML combined together. So you can deploy a model on the Azure container instance, what we have shown here, and we can also go ahead with other kind of a deployment as well. So stay tuned. Part 2 is coming up. This is just a little intro, and you can also subscribe to my channel where I'll be doing an end-to-end session on Azure ML completely. So keep an eye on it. So thank you so much, Sudhir, for calling me, and thank you so much for all audience who listen to me. Appreciate your efforts, man. Nice work. Nobody here but to listen to. Keep up, man. Nice work, Hariharan. Thank you, Hariharan, sir. Sudhir, you are muted. You are muted. You are muted, Sudhir. You are muted. All right, he's facing a lot of technical glitches. So, thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much for being part of this session. Like always, I can do as much as I can. So we can go ahead. We can start learning, and over a course of time, just listen to one of the things. It's like it's the same old step, with just taken care in your application of ML and TL. Simple. Data ingestion, data cleaning, data splitting, training the model, deploying it. That's it. And we are just trying to automate it. And over a course of time, we do it with Azure DevOps. And thank you so much, folks. Lakshit, we can end the
Yeah.
session.
Okay. So one last announcement from my side. So here's the Discord link, guys. You just have to join the Discord link, and there is a quiz scheduled, a holy quiz scheduled at 7 p.m. today. So do participate in the quiz. 20 winners will be getting the Azure Portal passes worth rupees $100 each. So that would be like $2,000 we are giveaway. So do participate in the quiz. 10 winners will be the top 10 winners from the who will be the top 10 in the leaderboard are going to get the top 10 vouchers, and rest 10 we will decide randomly from the participation list. So do participate in the Discord channel. Here is the Discord channel link, and see you then. Thank you Aswas for joining in, and I guess there might have some network issues, so let's hop up next day. See you then, guys. Bye bye.